returning as provost. Dr. Andy Walker is our new president of the foundation. We have a new major, Chinese literature and culture. And we're building a new $11 million building that's an academic center and plaza that will house 10 classrooms, 45 faculty offices, as well as a cafe for folks to go eat. It was a record year in New College of Florida, a record year with Fulbright scholars. We had 8 Fulbright scholars, puts us in the top 10 for all liberal arts colleges in the country per capita, and our students are studying anything from female rock musicians in Peru to conducting research on biosafety in Norway. Our faculty also have received awards. One received a teaching fellowship to Mexico, a Fulbright, and another received an award for excellence in collegiate teaching from the APA. And our alums also had a good year. On January 9th, William Dudley was tapped to be the president and CEO of the New York Federal Reserve, replacing Timothy Geithner. And Nancy McIndowney left her post as ambassador to Bulgaria to take a senior level post in the State Department overseeing European and Eurasian affairs. And of course, your Congressman, Lincoln Diaz-Balart, also a graduate from our school. Perhaps one of the greatest highlights for us, though, came back in January as well, as we were featured on the Today Show as the #2 best public value in the country, sandwiched between the University of Virginia and the College of William and Mary. And I don't say that to impress you, but rather to impress upon you that during difficult financial times, New College of Florida is an outstanding economic value for students, as well as the other schools that are here today. Florida has outstanding schools, and I encourage counselors and students to stay at home because of such a wonderful system. I'm going to move on to talk about the dragnet section of my presentation, just the facts. I'm going to include facts that aren't found in the SUS matrix, and then I'm going to move on and talk a little bit about our application process. This year, New College of Florida had over 4,000 visitors, 350 classroom visits, 1,653 applications, which is a 20% increase. We admitted 794 students, a little less than half our applicant pool. We had 272 deposits, an increase of 3%, as well as 255 students that finally enrolled for an increase of 6%. 86% of our students are FTIC, meaning the other 14% were transfers. 80% of our students were from Florida, 20% out of state. 64% of our students female, 36% of our students male. And our tuition and fees, room and board next year, a little over $12,500. And according to our Director of Financial Aid, we met 92% of student need. As for the application process, we really are encouraging students to go online and use the Common Application, which is an application that serves about 400 schools nationally. And that really helps our staff from a time perspective. It downloads right down into our database. And if you only remember one thing from my presentation, I hope it's the next thing. We have 2 deadlines this year. And February 15th is our first deadline. That's our guaranteed scholarship deadline. All students that apply to New College of Florida by that deadline and are admitted will receive some form of merit-based scholarship. And so, again, I would have students apply early. There's no downside. The 2 upsides are both accessibility to New College of Florida and financial reward. If you haven't stopped by my table, I would encourage you to do so. I have materials that will share a lot of what I've talked about in today's discussion. Wanted to remind you that we holistically, rather than formulaically, are looking, when we make our decisions, first and foremost for us, probably like most of the schools here, we're looking at strength of curriculum, as well as grades made in the class. However, we also look at the written essay. We look at the SAT, ACT. Of course, we look at your recommendation, which is very important to us. So all of those factors, extracurricular activities, to include leadership positions, are very important. I'm going to move briefly into our academic program, which prepares over 70% of our students to go on to graduate school. Student-faculty ratio is 10-to-1. We have more than 30 areas of concentration for our students to study. All classes are taught by highly credentialed faculty members, 99% with a terminal degree. About 20% of our students choose to study abroad or study away. About 40% of our students take the opportunity to put theory into practice by doing some sort of internship. And just our academic program being a little unique, we require a minimum of 7 contracts, which is similar to 7 semesters, 3 independent study projects, as well as a written thesis and the defense of that thesis. When I went to graduate school, And I'll tell you what our students are doing is every bit as comprehensive as what I did to get my thesis. I think it really prepares them for their future. We believe that our academic program produces critical and creative thinkers, provides for lifelong learning. It prepares our students for graduate school and their professional careers, as well as it makes them educated citizens, and it puts them in a position, we believe, to change the world. Real briefly, about 30 seconds on student life. We're a residential college with over 70% of our students living on campus. We have activities abounding from sailing on the bay to the annual kickball game. Clubs and organizations to meet everyone's need. We don't have one. Students are certainly welcome to start. It's football season, so I should remind you, still undefeated in football. Okay, so we don't have any intercollegiate athletics, but I will tell you that we have intramural sports, great fitness facilities, and a mascot so cool that it was featured this year in an online article by the Wall Street Journal. Our mascot, of course, the null set. And so, that really shows and I think depicts the type of education our students are receiving. A couple of final thoughts and observations from a first-year rookie. New College of Florida students like to bike. New College of Florida students really like their music and they like to dance to their music. New College of Florida students ask the right questions and I think more importantly, know how to find the answers to their questions. Vegetarianism is a good word on the New College campus. And New College of Florida, finally, is a well-functioning family comprised of happenings, a thirst for knowledge, and a sense of belonging to a very special community. I was asked to talk today about a topic that's close to me.